everyone, whether it's college, pros, or the weekend player. All athletes went back into the game. Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine reaches out to athletes of all ages with their first-class comprehensive orthopedic centers dedicated to the patient. We support you looking for a better way to live and stay active in the tri-state, so we are here. Our Beacon team live and work in your community, and we invite you to call or email us. Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we believe patients come first.
Let's go, boys. Let's do it, champ. Keeper? Yeah? Whoa.
When it stays on.
When it stays on, lads? Yeah. If when it stays on, get some Cristiano Ronaldo in.
Yeah? I want Neymar.
Oh, wait.
You know I try so hard, but I think you don't see because I'm moving so fast. We go it rock and rolling. My weapon seems useless because you're on to me. You are impossible to beat. You're always straight control. Oh, 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 it's a laser. Oh, 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 it's a laser. Oh, 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 it's a laser. Gonna do a voodoo dance until you feel my power now.
Neymar will never do that.
And the crowd goes wild.
Son, I got 50,000 fans screaming my name.
But not air.
Well, I've got boots that aren't even out yet.
Perfectly timed.
David Luiz!
Você não parece Davi Luiz. Você tem uma peruca feia.
You mean Iniesta?
The starters for tonight's Southern West Virginia's Kings Warriors are number 0, goalkeeper, John Thomas. Number 28, defender, Jake Kamsey. Number 15, defender, Ben Steen. Number 21, defender, Carter Robbins. Number 25, defender, Josh Kramers. Number 11, midfielder, Itose Fubara. Number 12, midfielder, Brian Ramirez. Number 8, midfielder, Gideon Asante. Number 4, midfielder, LJ Upong. Number 7, forward, Bernie Bardalis. And number 6, forward, Simon Doherty. The starters for the Warriors are coached by Scott Rittenauer. And the starters for your Cincinnati Dutch Lions. Number 0, goalkeeper Eric Oswald. Number 3, defender Nick DeSalvatore. Number 4, defender Stevie Meyer. Number 16, defender Garrett Halfhill. Number 5, defender Take Stovall. Number 10, midfielder Kyle Smith. Number 7, midfielder Chris Harmon. Number 6, midfielder Tanner Petrick. Number 17, midfielder Jordan Grant. Number 19, midfielder Kevin Walker. And striker, number 9, Jeff McClure. The Dayton Dutch Lions, or the Cincinnati Dutch Lions, I'm sorry, are coached by Terry Nickel, Alan Groothaus, and Scott Kegel. The officials for tonight's match: center referee Maggie Short, assistant referee Aaron Mitchell, assistant referee Kyle Most, and fourth referee Justin Greider. We ask that you please join us in a moment of silence for Dutch Lions supporter Martin Tall, who passed away from leukemia recently. In 2000, approximately 256,000 children and adults around the world had developed some form of leukemia, and 209,000 have passed away from it. We want to wish his family our most heartfelt condolence. Thank you. Now please rise and remove your caps and join us in honoring our country and those who serve it with the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose but stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dutch Lions Gateway, the YouTube home of Dayton and Cincinnati Dutch Lions. And we're back here at Xavier University Soccer Complex as the Dutch Lions, with their third home game of the season, welcome in the Kings Warriors of Southern West Virginia. Good evening, everyone. My name's Lee W. Mallon.
And I'm Allison Martin.
And we have an exciting game for you here, USL PDL action. Cincinnati comes in 2 wins, 0 losses, 2 ties on the season, 1-0-1 here at Xavier University at home. And Southern West Virginia, they are 1-2-1 on the season. Standings, Allison, Cincinnati still in third place after their 3-1 win against West Virginia in the Chaos.
They are still in third place, and in first is West Virginia Chaos, and they're 3-2-1. We have the Carolina Dynamo in second with a record of 3-1-1. The Cincinnati Dutch Lions 2-0-2. The SC United Bantams 1-3-2. Southern West Virginia King Warriors, which is who the Cincinnati Dutch Lions are facing today, and they are 1-2-1. And the River City Rovers, which are 1-3-1, and they are currently in last place.
River City actually picked up their first win of the season against these Kings Warriors. Now let's go through the starting lineups as Southern West Virginia is in white jerseys today. That's white jerseys, white shorts, orange numbers on the back with lots of orange around. And Cincinnati will be coming out orange jerseys, white letters and numbers, Holland roofing on the front, and a white vertical stripe on the left-hand side.
There's a lot of orange out there.
That is a lot of orange. Orange overload. Allison, who's starting today for Southern West Virginia?
All right. For their goalkeeper, we have number 0, John Thomas. Number 4, Elijah Oopkong. Number 6, Simon Doherty. Number 7, Benis Bardalis. Number 8, Gideon Ashante. Number 11, Itare Fiubara. I apologize if I mess up any of these names. Number 12, Brian Ramirez. Number 15, Ben Steen. Number 21, Carter Robbins. Number 25, Josh Kramers. And number 28, Jake Ramsey.
We'll get to Cincinnati's starting lineup in just a moment. Cincinnati heading from left to right. Southern West Virginia right-left. You just saw a throw-in by the Dutch Lions, and Southern West Virginia has it again. Here's your starters for the Lions. In the net tonight is single 0, Eric Oswald. Your 4 defenders for the Dutch Lions include number 3, Nick DeSalvatore, number 4, Stephen Meyer, number 5, Jake Stovall, and number 16, Garrett Halfhill. In the midfields, there's 5 midfielders and 1 striker. Tanner Petrick, Chris Harmon. There's a snipe wide right from Southern West Virginia. That's a goal kick for Cincinnati. Number 6, Tanner Petrick. Number 7, Chris Harmon. Number 10, Kyle Smith. Number 17, Jordan Grant. Number 19, Kevin Walker. And number 9, Jeff McClure are up front for Cincinnati. They're led by head coach Terry Nickel and assistant coach Alan Grothaus. And your officials for today's game, the referee is Maggie Short in the middle. Your first assistant coach as Halfhill tips one gently to Oswald. So he keeps it away from trouble. And it's back over for the Kings Warriors. Just about to enter our 3rd minute of action. Ball swept away from Gideon Asante. Ball finds on the far hand side for the Kings Warriors. Picked up by Fiubara. And off the foot of Tanner Petrick. Rolls back behind the center line. Back to the referees. Maggie Shorts, your referee, with assistant referees Aaron Mitchell and Kyle Most. And your 4th referee today will be Justin Greider.
Now that you guys are tuning in on YouTube, don't forget to check out PDL on YouTube. YouTube is the league's official online video home, offering live games and feature content. Subscribe for free to the USL PDL YouTube channel today.
Throw in by the Kings Warriors. Lands right in front of Benis Bardalis. They'll sweep a pass towards the arc. There's a shot off the hands of Oswald. Nice shot by Brian Ramirez. And the ball rolls out of bounds far hand side. Throw in for Southern West Virginia. So far, Kings Warriors off to a good start today. Lots of chances for them. A couple of snipes already at Eric Oswald, the Cincinnati goalie.
It's a little different than last game when we were here.
Don't remember the last game for Cincinnati. Jeff McClure and the Dutch Lions scored first in the very first minute, 30 seconds into the game. A pass goes awry. That will be a goal kick for the Cincinnati Dutch Lions. that win by Cincinnati. 3-1 was the score against the West Virginia Chaos. Our last game for Cincinnati before tonight. For the Kings Warriors, they lost on Thursday to River City on the road, and the Rovers picked up their first win in 2014.
That was a tough loss for the Kings. They were shut out, and unfortunately, with the River City Rovers being in last place, that's not too good for them.
McClure sweeps it. Meyer between his legs, backtracks it. It's picked up by Itade Fubara. Cincinnati off the foot, almost had a chance, but here comes a streaking King Warrior, and that was number 28 and Jake Ramsey. Far inside for the Kings Warriors, donning white tonight. Right now, Cincinnati pressuring their lowered midfielders back to their defenders. I believe that is Ben Steen carrying the ball on the far hand side. Pass off the side of Jake Stovall. And here come the Kings Warriors on the attack once again. Oopkong to his right. Now inside the 18-yard box. Backspace to Brian Ramirez. He had the last shot on goal. Hit off the hands of Eric Oswald. Nice save for the Cincinnati goalie.
He's been a key player for Cincinnati this season thus far.
Bardalis. And this ball will be sniped high past the goal line. Goal kick for Cincinnati. Beautiful night, just like we've had the past two Dutch Lions nights here at Xavier University.
Very fortunate. It seems like the crowd is starting to roll in a little bit too, and that's always good to see.
It's a nice packed house here at Xavier University's Corcoran Stadium. As Kyle Smith tangles the ball for Cincinnati, and he'll kick it back for Garrett Halfhill. Intercepted by the Kings Warriors. It's Asante.
And we'll see this game, as I was mentioning before, if anyone looking to get another goal, which would be his fifth straight games with goals.
Right now we have a scoreless affair in the 7th minute of action. John Thomas in the net tonight for Southern West Virginia. He dons a black goalie jersey with gray pits. And Eric Oswald donning the yellow. I don't believe we saw it the last time we were here at Xavier University.
No, we did not.
It's Fubar on the Xavier X. To his left and behind him. He'll find Carter Robbins. Pass up front, chasing his Stovall. He'll box out his opponent, and that will be a goal kick for Cincinnati. Flag was a little bit late raising up. Nice job by Stovall there. You saw him box out his man. It made it very tough for Southern West Virginia to get anything deep back in their attacking third. As you see, so far in this contest, Southern West Virginia has done a marvelous job keeping the ball away from the Dutch Lions. Dutch Lions haven't been their attacking third all night, with the exception of McClure's snipe about 5 seconds. Or Southern West Virginia. They have the ball again. Ramsey. Now Fubara.
It's tough to get any good looks with the Cincinnati defense.
Pass goes out of bounds past the end line, far hand side. Another goal kick for the Dutch Lions. The Dutch Lions have seen the Kings Warriors in Bluefield, West Virginia. And in stoppage time of the second half, the Kings Warriors knotted up, and that became Cincinnati's second tie of the season. Ball pops away from Jordan Grant, and the Kings Warriors will have it once again.
Jordan Grant looking for the steal there.
Far hand side for the Kings Warriors. Fubara has it again. Ryan Ramirez just immediately to his left, off a Dutch line, spins, and it's stayed above the touch line. As Brian Ramirez has it again for Southern West Virginia. Ramirez, back to Ramirez, a nice relay back to him. He'll now slide down, and now picked up by Oopkong. Oopkong blasts this one high, and this one will bounce off the Xavier Musketeer face, resulting in another goal kick for Cincinnati.
Now, what do you think the Cincinnati needs to do tonight?
Right now, Southern West Virginia, as you saw through these past few minutes, they've done a very nice job moving the ball between their midfield and their forwards. Just not a lot of chances yet for Cincinnati. Right now, get past the center line and be a little more creative moving the ball from the midfielders to your incoming forwards. McClure off his chest, out of the reach of Chris Harmon. This is kicked over the fence, and that's a throw-in for Cincinnati. Here comes the Dutch Lions in their first chance. Far side, just out of the 18-yard box. Picked up and blasted in the back of the net. At the 10th minute, Cincinnati takes a 1-0 lead.
Goal by Jordan Grant, number 17.
And Jordan Grant, he had the first 2 goals in Cincinnati Dutch Lions history. And he finds the back of the net past John Thomas. And the Dutch Lions lead 1-0 here at Xavier University. Southern West Virginia with the ball, far hand side.
We apologize, a little slight technical difficulties there.
Dade Fubara tracks it down for Southern West Virginia. For Jordan Grant.
It's his third goal. Beat you to the punch.
Yes, he did. Ball flying towards Oswald's hands. Nice catch in the 6-yard box for the Cincinnati goalie. And he'll fling it overhand towards his left. Far hand side for Cincinnati. That's Grant again. He would like his 4th goal of the season there, but he'll tap it past the end line. And that looks to be a corner kick for Cincinnati. As the Dutch Lions start to line up a bit. The goalie, Thomas, yells towards his team. And looks like Tanner Petrick will chase this soccer ball down to the far corner. As you see on the video, the smooth corner at Xavier University's soccer complex. The near corner is a 90-degree angle. That's a nice smooth bend as Petrick holds up his left hand, and he'll deal a kick to his right. Picked up by DeSalvatore. His ball's backtracking, picked up by Chris Harmon. This one will bounce past the end line. Goal kick for Southern West Virginia. One nothing. Cincinnati are scoring the 13th minute of action here. Good crowd, a good place to and Southern West Virginia's attacking third. A good start for Cincinnati thus far. Jordan Grant with the first goal of the game in the 10th minute of action. We'll have a Dutch line taken down in the box. Play is on. There's a snipe high above the net for Cincinnati, and that will be a goal kick for Southern West Virginia. That was DeSalvatore coming in on the far hand side. Had a nice idea, waited to see if the referee was going to call a penalty, resulting in a penalty kick, but alas, the referees did not. They said play on. DeSalvatore with one final snipe over the net. Goal kick for Southern West Virginia. Thomas will boot one towards the Xavier X. Nice header by Kyle Smith, using his height to his advantage. Now picked up on the far hand side for Southern West Virginia. This one will pop over the head of Jake Ramsey. He'll pick it up right in front of his bench. So far, we've seen Southern West Virginia very aggressive in the first few minutes of this game. What's changed, Allison?
Between the beginning minutes of our game, are you talking about?
Yes.
I would say that that Cincinnati is looking to attack a little bit more. I think they were a little bit more hesitant at first, and I made a comment before. This is a first-year team, so they don't really have experience with these other teams, and trying to find and attack weaknesses can be difficult. But it takes a little bit of time, and I think they're getting more comfortable and are taking some stabs at some weaknesses that they see out there. And are giving themselves a couple more offensive advantages than they were before.
Southern West Virginia currently in a 4-game road trip, in game number 3 of that 4-game pack. The last 2 here in Cincinnati. We'll see this team Wednesday night, 7 o'clock. You can watch that game here on the Dutch Lions Gateway. But so far, in 2 road games for Southern West Virginia, they have failed to score a goal, and now they have given up 5. This ball races over the head of Ben Steen. This one will bounce off the Xavier soccer banner, and that will be a corner kick for Southern West Virginia. That is their first on the night and our second we've seen. And taking this one will be number 25 and Josh Kramars. He's one of the 4 starting defenders today for Southern West Virginia.
Actually one of quite a few on Southern West Virginia's team. That's from Messiah College in Pennsylvania.
There's the left foot corner. This one will bounce past the end line. A nice idea, but it angles away from the attacking pack. Goal kick Cincinnati.
6 of them to be exact, in continuation of what I was saying. So that's nice, them all playing together.
Southern West Virginia with a throw-in, header off of Meyer, and another throw-in for the Kings Warriors.
Twitter. All the latest updates. John Thomas looking to clear the ball for Southern West Virginia. Can you hear me?
Kings Warriors with it. There's Asante. His pass touched by Dutch Lion. Back to Asante. Man, Asante's got some quick moves. He is very, very quick out there for the Kings Warriors. Now picked up by Oopkong. Elijah Oopkong. He'll blast it with his right foot. Header by Cincinnati. Pops towards the arc. Meyer with a good header, and McClure comes up with it. He'll land it right at Chris Harmon's feet. But Chris Harmon's pass gets away from Jordan Grant, and that is a throw-in for the Kings Warriors to the right of the Dutch Lions bench.
Keep going, Lee. Take the thing and wrap it around the earpiece a couple times.
Past the midfield line, here comes the Kings Warriors.
Try to relieve the stress off.
Carter Robbins to his left. Kramers. And his pass to Asante. Gets away. Nice stop by Dutch Lions defense there. However, Robbins and the Warriors of the Kings have it once again. Asante to his right. Finds Ramirez. Ramirez has had a couple good looks on the net tonight for the Kings Warriors. Back for Fubara. Between the legs, Asante chases it down, and it's picked up by Kyle Smith. A little shove in the back, coughs off the ball, and it's back for Oopkong. Oopkong blasts this one high, and this one will go past the near touchline, a throw in for the Cincinnati Dutch Lions.
You'll see the majority of these offensive possessions for Southern West Virginia have been on the right side of the field, not much coming from the left.
Big throw in heading towards the midfield line. 2 headers by the Kings Warriors, and Southern West Virginia's Itade Fubara will have the ball. Ramirez up front, intended for Oopkong, chipped away, and Ben Steen will pick it up on the far hand side. Steen and Robbins in the deep back of the field. Nice pass up front for Kramers. Kramers tangled up, and we are going to have a whistle from Maggie Short, the referee, and none too pleased with the call is midfielder Kevin Walker. Right now,
looks a little confused.
Jordan Grant trying to hold him back a little, try to cool him off in this early part of tonight's game. And that will be a free kick for Southern West Virginia. They're going to spot it where it happened, not inside the box. And 3 Kings Warriors will stand by the ball. There's a blast off the hands of Oswald. We are tied at 1.
Goal by Ashante.
Ashante with the goal for Southern West Virginia. Good luck for him by number 8.
That'll bring our score to 1-1. So that was an equalizer for this game.
Sante now leads the Kings Warriors with 2 goals on the season in game number 5 for him.
Southern West Virginia goal.
That was a nice goal by Asante. Like I mentioned, he's the player to watch for the Kings Warriors. Tie game at 1. McClure off his foot. Throw in for Southern West Virginia. Last time these 2 teams met, it was in Bluefield, West Virginia. The Kings Warriors with the equalizer in stoppage time of the second half. Both teams came away with 1 point and a draw. Southern West Virginia back on the attack again.
I know their head coach, Alan Grothis for Cincinnati, is really looking to pull out this win tonight. Hopefully to take over and get close to that number one ranking.
Ball off the back of Asante. That will be a goal kick for Cincinnati. Asante hit the hands of Oswald just at the right angle, and the ball landed behind the net for his 2nd goal of the season.
Overall, I will say I'm very impressed with how Cincinnati is working together and has been meshing for being its first season together. That's not, you don't see that very often, and 0 losses so far, so that's a good sign. Yeah, you might have a couple ties, but 3rd place, not too bad out of the 6, and I'm curious to see what they do the rest of the season.
Everyone wanted that throw in, but it's Cincinnati with that throw in. Soft header by Kevin Walker, and the ball will dribble away from him into the feet of Jake Ramsey. Ramsey versus Walker. Ramsey clears it away. Pass over one of his teammates, and we will have a whistle. So Oswald will pick up the rolling ball and scoots this towards midfield.
Oswald was a big contributor as well to Xavier. And last year alone, he had 63 saves as a senior, and he was 2nd best in the Big East, which we talked about before, switching conferences, so that was awesome. And 35th in the country.
Asante.
So that's something to write down.
Asante looking for his 2nd goal on the night, but his pass swiped away. Here comes Chris Harmon. Moves it up to the far-hand side, right by the midfield line. Left behind for Tanner Petrick. Petrick up front. Will chip this ball far away past the defensive line of Southern West Virginia, and that results in a Kings Warriors throw in. Ball now tracing to the near-hand side off the stomach of Kramers. Kramers moves it to Fubara. Been patrolling the middle portion of the pitch very well today. Southern West Virginia back in their attacking half. Like I mentioned today, Southern West Virginia, all but a few minutes, they have done a very nice job keeping the ball theirs, especially in their attacking side of the pitch. As Asante now looks to move the ball past Meyer.
His footwork is incredible out there, and his speed and the combination of two is deadly.
Simon Doherty gets touch of that ball. It's popped up. Cincinnati has it far hand side. Picked up by Grant. He had the first goal of the game, his third on the season, in the 10th minute of action. Sante had a goal as well, just a couple minutes back. Meyer up front, header off for Grant. McClure chasing it down, but he is out-headed, and this one will be bounced back to John Thomas. This is 0-0 in our roster. So he slings it over towards his left and picked up by Carter Robbins.
Southern West Virginia looking to set up here, taking their time in the backfield.
Fubara now controls the ball. Nice header by the Dutch Lions. And here's Stovall with another one. Petrick with the fancy footwork moves it to the far hand side. Petrick off his extended right foot. He's got the ball, moves it towards the far corner. This is going to be Jordan Grant. Rolls it to McClure, just out of his reach. Southern West Virginia looks to clear it away from the incoming Dutch Lions. And sweeping his way past his defender, Gideon Asante. He gets the ball tangled away. Play on as Asante quickly back up from the artificial pitch. Petrick rolling towards his right, being chased by another King Warrior. Bouncer in the air, header by Kramers. And this will bounce twice in front of Elijah Upkong. He's had a couple good looks as well, as Thomas will pick up that ball, laid offside.
Don't forget, if you want to check out all the score, stats, news, and more, you can check that out exclusively on uslpdl.com.
Beautiful night for soccer here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Dutch Lions looking to stay undefeated on the season, but Kramers on the other side tangled up, almost taking his defender down, and that will be a whistle, I believe. And a quick free kick for Cincinnati. McClure to his left. There's Harmon. And this one drifting towards the near corner. Grant, high on his horse, picks it up. Great speed by Grant as he'll dribble it inside the 18-yard box. And Grant's knocked down by Josh Kramers. He takes the ball and clears it past the midfield line.
The hustle was definitely there on that play.
Southern West Virginia back with the ball. Bennis Bardalis.
And even though Southern West Virginia, has had a majority of the offensive possessions, they really are struggling to get past Cincinnati's defensive line and to get a good look.
Booter heading towards the arc and picked up by Oswald. The Kings Warrior was waiting just a few yards away. Meyer now to McClure. McClure trying to out-tangle Carter Robbins. Picked up by the last remaining Kings Warrior. That is Ben Steen. The big cast on his right arm, it looks like. Can't tell if that's an actual cast or that's just kind of a cloth material.
I'm assuming he wouldn't be able to have an actual hard cast out there.
I'd hope he wouldn't.
I've seen players and athletes before bubble wrap their arm when they have casts like that.
Fubara touches it again, but is passed right into the feet of Chris Harmon. Harmon swings it near hand side. Petrick now. Petrick heading towards McClure, off McClure's foot, and it's a late offside, but it won't matter as John Thomas gobbles up the ball for Southern West Virginia.
That was a great pass by Petrick just then to McClure. Little margin for error on that one.
Now you kind of get the sense that Southern West Virginia, they haven't been their attacking side. There's a free kick awarded to the Kings Warriors, knocked down by Cincinnati. I was about to say that you've seen Southern West Virginia kind of push back a little bit. They haven't got as deep as they were in the first few minutes.
To me, it looks like they're trying to slow their game down a little bit more, maybe find a little bit more control, which obviously I think has been playing to Cincinnati's advantage because, as you said, they're not pushing quite so far back to the Cincinnati goal line.
Ramirez now to Fubara. Fubara takes the relay back. Jumping right in front of us, Chris Harmon.
Southern West Virginia almost looks to be a little more tentative than the very start of this game, which obviously wasn't too long ago.
Fubara swings it. There's Kramers. Back for Fubara. Bounce the ball around. Left-hand sweep. Now picked up by Jake Ramsey. Back to Ramsey in front of the Cincinnati bench. Have some of the Orange Legion back down here in Cincinnati with Vuvuzelas. Made huge because of the World Cup in 2012. That's Fubara.
Fubara is actually he's a little guy out there too. He's only about 5'7".
Also reminds me about Asante too. They're very good with their possession of the ball. They're very good handling it. As Cincinnati comes away with the ball, and Asante has it once again. Behind for Oopkong. Oopkong looking for a first strike here. Just a hair away from the 18-yard box, poked away from Asante, and Cincinnati looks to clear it away from the dangerous midfielder. Cincinnati defense will swing it all the way back to the 18-yard box. One Kings Warrior never let up on the chase.
Once you see the Southern West Virginia team reach closer to the goal, it seems like they have a little bit more pressure than they do in midfield.
Fubara comes away with the takeaway. This ball rolling towards Simon Doherty. Doherty right by the touchline, far hand side. Swings it to Oopkong towards his left. Fubara moves it. There's a snap. Nice stop by Oswald. Second one goes in, and Southern West Virginia has just taken a 2-1 lead. And that is a goal for, I believe, Itadye Fubara.
3 goals early in this game already. And Eric Oswald, he looked to make that save, but it got the first kick got jumbled in his legs, and it actually popped out, and then they were able to take advantage of that.
Elijah Oopkong actually credited with that goal for Southern West Virginia, and for Oopkong, that is his first on the season. It is now a 2-1 Southern West Virginia lead here in our 33rd minute of action right now. Haven't seen Cincinnati trail since the River City draw, where they trailed as much as 3-1 and 2-0. Not in that order, of course, but it's been a while since Cincinnati was down at home.
There's been many possessions where Cincinnati has been a step behind Southern West Virginia, and I think that's been a big factor as to Southern West Virginia's 2 goals. They seem to be just getting deep.
Here comes Southern West Virginia. Itadye Fubara will bounce a pass way out of the reach of Oopkong. And this will be picked up by the Cincinnati defenders. Something I noticed from the second Kings Warriors goal, as the first one I really wasn't paying attention just because my stats blew away down the hill. Here comes McClure with it, bouncer, and it's just wide. This one will bounce towards the near touchline, throw in for Cincinnati. The first one, my stats blew away, so I didn't have a good look on it, but that was a nice snipe on the far hand side.
You took a deep, real hard dive down this hill to save those stats.
For some of the fans, they like to roll down this hill, and I unintentionally did that tonight, as I do apologize. But like I said on the second goal, lots of Southern West Virginia King Warrior fans down here. They're from Bluefield, West Virginia, and I know on the last game recap, they mentioned that there was going to be a future Cincinnati Bearcat for the Kings Warriors.
I did read that as well. He's going to be a freshman next year.
Large throw.
So that's always good to see.
Comes out of the box. Here's Meyer. He'll roll it towards his left. Cincinnati looks to keep in their attacking zone. Nice header by Fubara. This ball will bounce towards the far hand side. McClure rolls it towards his right, picked up by Kyle Smith, and he blasts this one towards the Xavier X for a goal kick for the Kings Warriors. That sounded bad. I didn't mean to say I wasn't paying attention, but my stats blew down, so I had to get them. So I do apologize on my wording.
You're having a little bit of technical difficulties as well, so you're trying to help me out.
The Kings Warriors fans, a nice section in the middle of the bleachers in front of us.
Well, it's nice to see because it's obviously not right around the corner, so.
Exactly. Farther away than the West Virginia Chaos, who call Charleston home from the state, and I know that's very close to the state of Virginia. So making the trek out here, and who knows if they'll be back Wednesday if they're staying in town.
Which is probably a good thing, and I would assume the majority of them probably will be if they're able to get that time off. Hey, if there's 2 games that are relatively close to each other, why not?
McClure tangled up with his defender. This one will be a goal kick for Southern West Virginia as they lead 2-1 in the 36th minute. Like I mentioned about this steep hill, we have a youth team from the Lakota area. That's Westchester, if you're not familiar, north of Cincinnati. Westy Chesty. I've never heard that before.
I'm all about the abbreviations. The Westy Chesty.
We saw Lakota youth team. They were on the field for the starting lineups. Also see a couple of fans in orange. Leo the Lion pouncing around the hill. And Southern West Virginia with a good look down here again. Nice pass from Asante. He'll have the ball again, 18-yard box, right into Eric Oswald's hands. And a quick throw in off the foot of Jordan Grant. Nice moves by Jake Ramsey. Takes it far hand side. Ramsey now looking to build on this Kings Warriors lead. Pass inside the far side of the 18-yard box. Taken away by Cincinnati. And here comes Jordan Grant attacking that far flank. Grant will shake it off. Kick it back behind him for Nick DeSalvatore. He's had a couple of shots on the net tonight. Ramsey comes up the ball for Southern West Virginia.
Don't forget to follow us on Facebook. Visit the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at fb.com/USLPDL. You'll get all the great information, just like you would on Twitter or any of our social media sites, that is.
Gubara now rolls towards his left. The sun's starting to set down here in Cincinnati. Not a lot of sun left on this artificial pitch. Bounce pass picked up by Garrett Halfhill. And Halfhill sweeps it towards his left. Petrick with Grant on the far left. Petrick rolls this up by himself. Pass to Grant now. Grant with the lone Dutch Lion goal. Looking to get another one. Header towards McClure. And Southern West Virginia breaks that up very nicely. Just seeing McClure getting boxed out by Southern West Virginia thus far on a couple headers there.
McClure has not had the looks that he has had, especially comparing to the last game versus the West Virginia Chaos.
There's a nice breakaway for Harmon. And he tries to hit up Kevin Walker on the near flank, but it's taken away by Carter Robbins.
The little things, that pass just then by Chris Harmon, you really got to make those passes sharp. And he had the opportunity to have a 2-on-2 back there, but when you have a sloppy pass, it gets stolen.
Southern West Virginia's been all over the field tonight against Cincinnati. They've kept the ball in their position for the majority of the time. Here's a sweeping bouncer off the header of Josh Kramers. He can't keep it in bounds, and Cincinnati will have a throw in right by their attacking third with Leo the Lion watching in on Myers' throw. Myers shakes the ball twice, throws it up front. McClure comes off it, off his chest, throw in for Southern West Virginia.
I will say I'm really enjoying his vibrant neon shoes.
Those are sharp on the field, along with the goalie, John Thomas. He's got neon shoes.
I think every player should have a different color neon shoes. It would be so much easier to keep track of everyone.
Meyer tangles up. He gets it free. And this is Harmon sweeping it away, but Southern West Virginia comes up with it. Backtracking his steps is Brian Ramirez, just off the tippy toes of Simon Doherty. And the ball finds its way towards Jake Stovall in Cincinnati. Great night here. The Vuvuzelas making their first appearance of the season here at Xavier University. We smell the grill. Smell the
yeah.
food coming off. Definitely a night for hamburgers and hot dogs wherever you might be watching or if you're here. Nice nights to fire up the grill, have a barbecue.
Dutch Lions offer summer camps in our Dayton facilities in June and July.
40th minute of action as Southern West Virginia look to move the ball past the center line again. Stovall turns around, heads this one away. Chasing it back is Bennis Bardalis. Bardalis' pass finds an orange jersey. Southern West Virginia commands the field again. Itaye Fubara up front, swept away by Gideon Asante even, I'm sorry. Pick up by Fubara, far hand side. This ball laced to Kramers, off his head, but he'll pick it back up. Walker comes in, so does Chris Harmon. Fubara up front.
Sorry, the Southern West Virginia has been doing a great job moving the ball and moving their players. No one's standing still, and I think that's a big reason as to why they're getting a couple more offensive looks than Cincinnati is, and they're always moving. Their feet are always moving.
Bardalis with a pass towards his right, saved out of bounds, picked up by Cincinnati again. Off the hand of Asante, that kick bounces off his hands, and a free kick will be issued to Cincinnati right by the left portion of Xavier's logo. Gigantic X on the artificial pitch. McClure off his left foot. Now picked up by Harmon. Harmon rolls inside the box. Nice dive by John Thomas. He'll gobble up the ball. And he'll watch McClure and another Dutch Lion exit the box.
Good idea.
And he'll punt this one away. This ball spiring in the air just off the center line. Headed back in Cincinnati's attacking side. This is Ramsey. Ramsey shakes off his defender. Like you mentioned, Southern West Virginia, they're not standing still. They're always somewhere. They're always moving just where the ball expects them to be.
They're doing a really good job as well of spacing out the field and utilizing the entire field to their advantage.
Ramirez up front. Backtrack to Ramirez.
They're patient. I think that's another big thing is they're not trying to force any balls, but when they do get the advantage, they certainly do attack, and I think that's what's given them their 1-goal advantage here.
And here's Cincinnati back the other way. Grant snipes it off the hands of the goalie and picked up by Southern West Virginia. And on that note that you mentioned, Allison, with that style of play, you start to get a little frustrated if you're the other team because you want the ball back. You might start tripping the players. You might start getting a little too physical, and that also builds into the game as well.
And I think that's been a part of it when Southern West Virginia has been patient, has been looking for clean passes, looking to attack, and I think Cincinnati's been a little frustrated by that, trying to challenge them, but they're already ready. They're a step ahead, and once they challenge them, they'll catch them off guard, and then that's where they'll get their chances on goal.
Throw in for the Kings Warriors. Smith. Hit this up for Petrick in the center circle. Petrick loses the ball to Gideon Asante. Now Kramers to his left. Asante with it again. He'll trickle it down the far side. Almost taken away by Nick DeSalvatore of Cincinnati. And here come the Kings Warriors again. Oopkong. Lost the ball for a split second. Tries to chip a pass between a Dutch Lion's leg, but Chris Harmon will clear this one back to the defenders of Southern West Virginia. We're starting to get close to halftime. Of course, there might be some stoppage time issued by the fourth referee, Justin Greider. But thinking about what you're going to say to your team in the locker room, what do you say if you're Coach Nickel?
I would really say you have to be patient. Especially on defense, because these guys have great ball control, and you need to know when to attack at the right time. Because if you're looking to challenge and attack and they catch you off guard, kind of like I said before, you put yourself a man down. And you don't want to see that because then you lose your advantage. And especially with Cincinnati, which so far has been known for their defensive integrity.
McClure gets the ball through one defender. The second one comes in, sweeps it away. Something else. McClure's been double teamed a lot tonight. I mean, absolutely. Once one defender is right there, the second one is there to sweep it away. They've done a nice job taking on the striker with the 5th most goals in the PDL. We'll get to that a little bit later.
They really have, and he's the man to look after, and it's very clear that Southern West Virginia has prepared for that.
Cincinnati's defense comes up with the ball. Bouncer once, and McClure off his left knee. He'll swing it off his left foot towards Jordan Grant. Grant with Walker up top. Grant tangled up with Jake Ramsey. Puts a body in front of him. Chipped away by Grant, towards the far corner. Grant off his right foot, sweeps it away. He's taken down in the 18-yard box. And Thomas comes up with the ball. Grant slammed hard. Play on.
Grant still on his back, rolling around. Yet to get up.
Now what's underneath the artificial pitch here at Xavier?
It's just turf.
Just turf?
That I'm honestly, I could not tell you.
And now Thomas waving Maggie Short over towards the down Dutch Lion Jordan Grant. Took a hard lick as they announced, I believe, 2 minutes of stoppage time for this first half.
Because this used to be an all-grass field, and then they just put this in within the past year or so, so I'm not really sure what they laid under the turf.
I think you have a layer of dirt before you put the rubber.
I was going to say it's rubber, then
so
it's the... Because we used to have here at Xavier a football team a long time ago.
Back in the 70s, that's right.
Yes, this is, I believe, don't take my word for this, but the football field was also in this area.
And now Grant with his back up in the air, the trainer taking a look at him. So Grant is up.
He did fall hard, so.
He was holding the right side of his face, I believe. Now Grant back up. Looks like he's a little woozy up, but he is walking under his own power with the trainer towards his right.
He looks like he's been holding his head. I'm not sure if he's just trying to wipe the turf out of his hair, but my guess is he probably hit his head on his way down.
Some of the Kings Warriors give Grant
good sportsmanship.
Yep.
And that was something that we talked about previously before the game is the coaches for the Kings Warriors really want to focus on teamwork and different views that I'm sure every team likes to look at, but a big word that I mentioned to you was hope. And I thought that was interesting, and we were kind of talking about how I guess it's a little bit of a religious base.
It's a nonprofit religious organization in Bluefield, West Virginia. I believe they've been around for 3 years in the USL PDL.
Correct. And Scott Retner has coached all 3 of those seasons.
Throwing back to Thomas. He'll get the ball. We'll keep you updated on the process of Grant. He's sitting the second row of the bench with the trainer getting him some water, I believe. Header misses McClure. Harmon a few yards away from it, and Thomas will come up with the ball for Southern West Virginia. Picked up by Kramers. Dubara holds out his left hand, now moves it in front of him. Kramers again. Now Bardalis. Pass moved up, Stovall chips it back. Jordan Grant back on the field, looks like he's going to be A-okay. Sweep over to the near hand side for Ramirez.
I think one of the biggest differences that I've been really watching and noticing is footwork and ball control.
Asante off the side of Cincinnati's Garrett Halfhill.
Southern West Virginia is so quick on their feet. And their first touch, they're really able to get control of that ball.
That's a corner kick for the Kings Warriors, their second of the game. Mover out of the reach of Nick DeSalvatore. And it will bounce past his foot. That will be a goal kick for Cincinnati. The ball blazes high in the air. That's halftime. Southern West Virginia 2, Cincinnati 1. End of the first. Goals for Gideon Asante and Elijah Oopkong in the first half. And for Cincinnati, Jordan Grant with the first strike on the contest in the 10th minute of action.
Now, as you asked me, what do you suggest? As a coach going in for each of these teams, what would you tell your players?
For Southern West Virginia, I don't know what I would really tell them besides keep it up. Don't foot on the gas, don't let up. You have a good position now. Cincinnati really just feels like they've been on their toes ever since they gave up the lead. Just keep up the intensity and you'll come away with a win.
You can only hope.
Now for Cincinnati, I just say stay patient, like you mentioned. Stay patient. I mean, McClure's been double teamed most of the game, and the Southern West Virginia team has done a great job keeping the ball their possession. For Cincinnati, how do you break through?
Well, and I really think this is a great test, as we've been saying time and time again, of creative midfield play, because it is clear that Southern West Virginia has been all over McClure, and that's what they need to be doing. So this is where they need to start changing it up and looking for some different options and getting more creative, because obviously what they're doing right now isn't really working.
So that will do it for the first half. We will come back for the second half action here. Halftime score, Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors 2, Cincinnati Dutch Lions 1. Here from Xavier University Soccer Complex. We'll be back for the second half.
Okay, no goal. Next up, from the orange team, Chloe Pascal.
Injuries can happen to anyone, whether it's college, pros, or the weekend player. All athletes went back into the game. Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine reaches out to athletes of all ages with their first-class comprehensive.
Still keeping them out of there. Next from the orange team, Gabe Pascal. The whole Pascal family here today.
I was going to say, here, take a seat.
I think you tipped him over.
Sure?
Yeah, I'm good here. I forgot to start the recording.
Okay,
so 22 minutes in, so I missed the first two goals.
Well, I got on here.
Blue team, Connor.
I don't have to do any highlights or nothing. I just, in case they ever warn it.
In the match, USA 2, Nigeria 1.
Hey guys, final for USA Nigeria, us 2, them 1.
Okay, from the orange team, Alex Potekabe. And I apologize for the names. I have a bad habit of butchering names, so I apologize, guys. Nigeria?
Nigeria.
Oh, another goal. This one from Team Orange. And we're tied 1-1.
I think Outscore scored both of them.
What's that?
I think so.
Okay, next from Team Blue, Jay Shapicher. Okay.
I just had the first. I think he scored one the 68th minute.
Okay, now from Team Orange, Nico Kraus. There's another goal. Okay. Let's see, that was Nico Kraus, correct? Okay, so next up from Team Blue is Paul Walters. Okay, nice stop. Now from Team Orange, Mitchell Weckman. Okay. Collect the ball back. This time from Team Blue, we have Anna Geiger. Oh, so close. And the last one from round one from Team Orange, Gavin Heck. And he scored. The end of the first round. Team Orange 3.
What?
Said, who's this goalie?
Team Blue 1.
Got our backup goalie or something?
I think so. From
I
Team
didn't catch his
Blue,
name,
Jack
though.
Pascal. There's a goal for Team Blue. Chloe Pascal from Team Orange is next. Okay, that's a stop. Next from Team Blue, Catherine Walters. Oh, almost. Next we have Gabe Pascal. Hey guys. Got that one out. Very good. Okay. Now from Team Blue, Connor.
Hey,
how you doing?
Whoa.
I'm up here. How do you get up there?
Oh, you have to come through underneath this thing here.
Okay, I was just wondering, how do you guys hook up to the live stream?
He's doing it through wireless.
Okay.
4G cell phone from Team Orange.
Okay.
I like spectacle there.
Do you have like a computer or something to what, or?
Yeah, he has his cell phone connected to this 4G, and then he's on a hotspot. He has his computer connected up to that. And he's using
next up from Team
Flash
Blue, James
Composer.
Jim
To compress it
Bakker.
and push it up to YouTube.
Is that like a program, Flash Composer? Yeah, one thing about streaming for our games, but we already own off equipment. You got
Team Orange, Nico Kraus.
Yeah, he has a small mixer up here where we got the camera feed going in, and then we have two announcers down there, and then music from the.
Oh, there's a goal!
And then all that goes. Those three feeds go into the computer, and then gets pushed up to you.
Injuries can happen to anyone, whether it's college, pros, or the weekend player. All athletes went back into the game. Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine reaches out to athletes of all ages with their first-class comprehensive orthopedic centers dedicated to the patient. We support you looking for a better way to live and stay active in the tri-state, so we are here. Our Beacon team live and work in your community, and we invite you to call or email us. Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we believe patients come first.
Let's go, boys. it, champ. Keeper. Yeah. Whoa.
When it stays on.
When it stays on, lads? Yeah. If when it stays on, get some Cristiano Ronaldo in.
Yeah? Gewoon Neymar.
Oh, wait.
You know I try so hard, but I think you don't see because I'm moving so fast. We call it rock and rolling. My weapon seems useless because you're on to me. You are impossible to beat. You're always straight controlling. Oh, 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 it's a lizard. Oh, 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 it's a lizard. Oh, 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 it's a lizard. Gonna do a voodoo dance until you feel wild power now.
Neymar would never do that.
And the crowd goes wild.
Son, I got 50,000 fans screaming my name.
That's not air.
Well, I've got boots that aren't even out yet.
Perfectly timed.
Dad, how you doing?
Você não parece Davi Luiz. Você tem uma peruca feia.
You mean Iniesta?
Zlatan thinks that Zlatan should take it.
Sono contento di non essere lui. It's a good header though.
Get that! Come on! Come on! Just come on! In motion, make the little girls dance.
It can't be the hub.
Heading away by Luis. The straight to win, Rooney! The English will have scored into the top corner. The next goal wins.
No campo de ataque, Cristiano Ronaldo, vai Cristiano, lindo passe, vai garoto, vai nessa garoto, linda fita, vai fazer, chega Davi Luiz, opa! That could be a penalty!
Penalty, Rui.
Die! Die! Joe! Silva!
They're going to give the penalty. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. But hold on a second.
Ma che è questo?
He's taken the ball off Cristiano Ronaldo.
Feel like you're locked into an automotive lease? SwapAlease.com has the key for you. No hassle, just a quick, easy, and inexpensive way to exit your auto lease. Log on and let SwapAlease.com show you how. If you want to get out of your lease, just go to SwapAlease.com.
When you think about Olympic athletes, you think about determination, passion, experience, compassion, pride, and aspiring to be the very best in their sport. You can expect the exact same qualities from the caring professionals at Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. And now you can experience Olympic quality training with our D1 training facility at Beacon's Summit Wood location. D1 offers experienced, customized training programs for all athletic levels, in addition to offering adult training programs. Beacon is extremely proud to provide full-service gold medal care and treatment to you and your family, all in our state-of-the-art facilities. Our goal is for you to be healthy and stronger so that you can make the very best at your game. Call us today at 354-3700 or check us out at beaconortho.com. Beacon Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where patients come first.
One of the hardest parts of this game is getting your opportunity. You got to dedicate yourself to it, and that's what it takes.
We've got a very special guest. I'm going to ask Landon Donovan to come up.
I want you to grasp today, make the most of it, enjoy it, have fun, keep yourself going. The rest of it is up to you guys. Never know, maybe I'll be playing with all y'all someday. We'll see you guys later. Thank you. For these kids, this is now the opportunity when the lights are on. It's their equivalent of a Saturday night.
Welcome back here to Xavier University Soccer Complex. Cincinnati Dutch Lions hosting the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors. Halftime score, the visitors, the Kings Warriors 2 and the Dutch Lions 1. My name's Lee W. Mowen.
And I'm Allison Martin.
And we're back here for the second half. The Dutch Lions now moving right to left. Southern West Virginia left to right. Goals scored. Jordan Grant with the first goal of the game, giving Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. But since then, it's been all Southern West Virginia. Shortly thereafter, it was Gideon Asante with the goal, his first on the season, and Elijah Oopkong in the 32nd minute, pouring it on for his second score. That's why we're at a 2-1 Kings Warriors advantage here, as McClure boots the ball forward, and we're back to action here in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Now, I'm curious to see what Cincinnati does to change up a little bit what they were doing before in the first half.
Cincinnati off, looking to clear the ball away. They're heading towards Eric Oswald, their goalie, who's allowed 2 in so far today. Now picked up by Matt Hill. Hill is subbed in for Cincinnati. There's Stovall now, and he moves it up front for the Orange. Picked up by Chris DuPont. As Cincinnati has swapped out a couple of their players. Grant up front, and Causey past the goal line. That's a goal kick for Southern West Virginia. Brian Causey was absent from the last game due to an injury, but he has since returned. He was working out along with Rowan Van Zonen, the captain of Cincinnati. And that's also another substitution. Rowan Van Zonen has entered the game. We'll try to get you some more subs as we can, as Southern West Virginia looking for the first good look in this second half.
And we predicted that coming into the second half of, like we said, needing to change something up and probably switching up with some subs and getting some fresh feet out there.
Looks like Southern West Virginia didn't do a lot of subbing for the second half. There's a blaster that goes wide left of the net. And a deflection, says Maggie Short. And that looks to be a corner kick for Southern West Virginia. Or is it going to be a free kick on the touch of the hands? It will be a corner kick. This one taken by Josh Kramers. Third corner kick of the day for the Warriors of the Kings. Warriors of the King, I should say. Something we have yet to mention, a very unique name for Southern West Virginia.
It's a long one.
Well, not that. We'll get to that as Kramers boots this one. This one almost bounces in off of Oswald's noggin, and the ball finds Matt Hill. Hill up front, McClure, he's got a lot of open turf to run. He hits it off the stomach of Jake Ramsey. Throw in for Cincinnati. That was a good opportunity there by McClure. As Van Zonen, he controls it. Rowan Van Zonen tangled up by 3 Kings Warriors, and it's taken away by the visitors. Gideon Asante, he rolls away from Stovall. Great speed for Asante. He's looking for his second goal of the night. Instead, passes it towards his left. Doherty, this ball is backtracking off the foot of Jordan Grant.
Just a little recap if anyone is tuning in now. In the first half, we were noticing that the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors, they pretty much dominated the first half, and they had full control. Great ball handling. Offensively, they were all over Cincinnati, and Cincinnati was having a really hard time finding any strong looks at the goal. And Southern West Virginia was doing an excellent job defensively guarding McClure and not letting him get any chances at the goal, because he has scored in every game for Cincinnati thus far.
Something I noticed in the second half, you saw McClure got a nice pass up there. He also had a lot of open room thus far, so maybe Southern West Virginia perhaps backing off that check a little bit.
Hopefully.
It's the Kings Warriors with the ball again. Just out of the reach of Asante, and man, he will not stop for that ball. Almost got away from Jake Stovall, but Oswald sends this away for Cincinnati.
Those are the best, because that's when you really see who's faster.
Great jog of speed, as here comes Cincinnati past the center line. Van Zonen gets the bouncing ball on his left foot, treks towards his right, now controls it, 18-yard box, crosses it in for the score! We are tied up at 2, and Van Zonen literally on the field for 7 minutes now. He scores the goal.
That was a great crossover by Van Zonen. Good to see him score in his first couple minutes back after his injury.
Van Zonen,
I'm sure that feels good.
he picks up his first goal in the season in his third game, along with 1 assist. And it's a tie game at 2. And you see what the captain can really bring to this table. And he was missed in that 3-1 win, I should say, against West Virginia.
And he's much needed in this game tonight.
And you can also see Van Zonen also taking a little pressure away from McClure, because in the first half it was nothing but double coverage on number 9. But Van Zonen, he now brings that
gives
second
them
threat.
another weapon.
Exactly.
And I'm curious. I'm sure they probably were looking to rest him in the first half, and I'm sure they had a reason as to why they wanted him in the second half, so they can get some fresh feet, but also keep him off his feet at the same time because of his injury.
Goal is good. Van Zonen with his first on the season is a tie game at 2. Now in our 51st minute. Scoreboard was starting to roll down to start the second half like college soccer does, where you don't really have any stoppage time. You don't have stoppage time. Let's rephrase that. But at the same time, a little bit of fun to start the second half, as Kyle Smith taken down to the turf. Free kick for Cincinnati, and Brian Causey now with it. He's back as well, along with Van Zonen. And Causey in the first game against River City, he was all over the field, played a nice game of defense, as the ball will chip into the box of Oswald.
Man, no matter what sport you play, injury is the last thing that you want to have to deal with.
Exactly. It's a sad fact, though, they do happen. There's a nice sweep through Barr, looking to give Southern West Virginia another lead, but this ball off of Cincinnati for a corner kick for the Kings Warriors. Their 4th of the game, and their 2nd of the second half. And it looks like Bennis Bardalis will take this from the far corner. No inch of sun at all in this artificial pitch. The sun is setting.
Lights are on.
And we're starting to have some nice colors in the sky.
Don't look into the lights like I just did.
Something I noticed about the lights, the top rows of the lights aren't on. It's just the bottom lights.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why.
Bardalis with the corner off of a Dutch Lion head. This ball will pop out, heading towards the touchline, and a throw-in will be issued for Southern West Virginia. Now in our 53rd minute of action, Ramsey throws it in, and Ramsey watches it bounce towards his right. Nice lean up by McClure. That will draw a whistle against Southern West Virginia. Scratch it against Cincinnati, and Southern West Virginia will instead have a free kick.
And that was one of those plays where you need to get into position, because if you're not in position, they will call it on you. And that was a perfect example of what just happened.
Kazi will have a throw in front of the Southern West Virginia bench. These two teams will meet up again in Cincinnati Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Hope you join us for that. Allison, hope you're here with me again.
You know it.
Throw in the attacking half for Cincinnati, just in their attacking third. Now picked up by DuPont. Rolls it back behind him, Kyle Smith. Kyle Smith takes a rough tumble on the turf, and that will give Cincinnati a free kick on the far side.
Kyle Smith has taken a couple tumbles so far already in the second half.
Ball rolls into the 18-yard box, taken away by the Kings Warriors. There's Bardalis. And the Kings Warriors defense looking to strip it away. Nice come in by McClure. Off his foot, however, past the touchline. Throw in for Southern West Virginia.
Those bright, shiny shoes, which are Nike, by the way, and Nike is a proud sponsor of the W League. So you can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the Nike Soccer information.
They also sponsor USL Pro and the PDL as well.
Big Nike fan.
Dutch Lions women's team lost 4-0 at Atlanta without Rose Lavelle. A tough day for the Dutch Lions in Georgia. And Silverbacks with a great win to wash out that nasty 6-2 loss they had in West Carrollton, Ohio.
That's kind of like we were talking about earlier, how one player can really impact a team. And I think right now is a good example of their captain right here coming in and bringing a new energy to the team. And that's definitely what they needed.
Kazi will take this ball on the far hand side. Blaster right off the back of a King Warrior. That was Van Zonen. And a throw in for the Dutch Lions. We'll also mention USL Pro, the Dayton Dutch Lions professional team. They are in California and Arizona for next 3 games. McClure coming in. And the goalie John Thomas will take a bounce and take the ball away.
Man, I wish I was in California.
The Dutch Lions are at Orange County, formerly the Los Angeles Blues of last year, Orange County Blues. Tonight, I believe that's 11 o'clock Eastern Time start. And
correct.
Dayton will also have a game at Los Angeles Galaxy 2, and the same place the Los Angeles Galaxy play, the MLS team. And they will also be at the Arizona United FC team.
All the warm weather.
I was trying to think what that name of the team was. It used to be Phoenix, but it's Arizona. So that's their 3-game set for having a road trip at Rochester as well. So long time before we see our USL Pro teams back at home. This ball will spiral towards the PA announcer. Throw in for Cincinnati. We'll have a King Warrior tying his shoes on the center line. The Kings Warriors donning white jerseys, orange letters and numbers. And we will have a substitution. Coming out of the game will be Elijah Oopkong. And for the Kings Warriors, please welcome in Dean Johnson. Dean Johnson coming into the game, midfielder taking the place of another midfielder. And if my notes do not mistake me, that's the first sub of the game for Southern West Virginia.
It is. I think they probably can feel and see there's been a little bit of a momentum change in this game, and I think it's equaled out a little bit. I wouldn't say anyone is controlling this game more than the other, but because of that goal from Cincinnati, you can't slip up.
You kind of also see Southern West Virginia isn't as aggressive as they once were in the first half. I mean, take about maybe 10 minutes from that first half, Southern West Virginia had the ball. And so far,
they're not taking as many chances.
And Cincinnati's been controlling most of the time. DuPont strangled around. This ball will blast high of the net, almost stuck in the fence. And that'll be a goal kick for Cincinnati.
And I'm not sure if some of them are starting to feel tired or what, but I completely agree.
It's a back and forth game. Your legs start to tire. Your knees start to wear a little bit.
Talk about endurance.
If you play all 90 minutes per game, I mean, like you said, endurance.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important thing about being a soccer player. You have to stay...
You better be able to run.
There is a throw-in for Southern West Virginia to the left of the center line, right by the Kings Warriors fans, which we were told they're watching the game on the Dutch Lions Gateway, the official home of Dayton and Cincinnati Dutch Lions.
We appreciate it.
And we'll welcome you to the broadcast. We hope you're enjoying it. We hope you're enjoying your weekend here, wherever you might be. And also, fans.
There's a lot of little ones running around in front of us right now.
That's the Lakota youth team making their way from Liberty Township in Westchester. They were on the field with these starters as Ramsey, no scratch that, Dean Johnson has the ball on the near hand side, and Ramsey will have a throw in. Now he's starting to pick up on this slope hill. It's Dean Johnson. He'll checker this to the far hand side for Josh Kramers. He'll skip it towards Oswald, and he'll come away with the ball. Come away with the ball for blasting this high in the air. Almost to McClure. It bounces to his right. McClure, he makes sure he's onside, and he snipes it just to the left. Goal kick for Southern West Virginia.
That would have been a heck of a goal if that wasn't too shy to the left there.
Oswald with a blast, and I mean a blast off his foot. Blasted just a little bit right of McClure between the two left defenders for Southern West Virginia, and McClure just hooked it wide.
That high bounce, I think, distracted McClure a little bit, and wasn't able to quite control that and bring that ball down to where he was looking for.
Here comes Cincinnati's Van Zonen. He'll chase the ball off his left knee, picks it back up right by the touchline. He's now got two defenders on his side, picked up by Kyle Smith. Smith will find open turf with Brian Kazi coming in.
Better ball control for Cincinnati so far in this half as well.
That ball out past the end line off a King Warrior, and that gives Cincinnati their second corner of the night, their first in the half, and Chris Dupont will get his first touch with this far corner.
Van Zonen's also taking some control out there, and you could see him pointing to some other teammates, telling him to go here, go there. So it's good to see that.
High in the sky, heading towards the near hand side. McClure chases this down, and off his toe, it will go past the touchline, throw in for the Warriors of the Kings.
Tempted to try to kick it back there. A little too much momentum.
Throw in off the feet of Italia Fubara. Left behind for Jake Ramsey. Swept to Dean Johnson. Kicked away by Cincinnati. McClure on the chase, and Ramsey's got it. He'll swipe around. Ramsey taken down, and that's a free kick for Southern West Virginia. See the Kings Warriors on the far hand side. They're warming someone up. Might be our next sub. Cincinnati has someone ready to go.
I will say at the beginning of this game, while they were warming up, the roster and how many players that they had on the field definitely threw us off a little bit.
Matt Hill comes up with it off his knee. Kings Warriors behind the center line, moving forward. Now picked up by Gideon Asante. This is Ramsey now. Ramsey holds out his hands. Back to Ramsey in the center circle. He'll go to the right. Now picked up by Asante. Asante chips it off his foot. Oh, dangerous clear away there, but Garrett Halfhill wins the battle.
Close to his face.
Kings Warriors back with it. Dean Johnson, the first sub for Southern West Virginia. Tangled up. Matt Hill will let it roll. And that will be a throw-in for Cincinnati.
Good defense by Matt Hill there.
And are they going to call that a goal kick instead?
Ooh.
No, that's going to be a throw-in. As Cincinnati waits for their sub. Looks like that's number 18, Logan Gumbert. Gumbert will come into the game for Brian Kazi.
Number 18, Logan Gumbert.
So Kazi's night is done. He has about 13 minutes of action today. Now scratch that, about 18. I beg your pardon. As Harmon slows it down. Now picked up by Van Zonen.
Logan Gumbert hasn't seen too much action so far this season.
Throw in for Southern West Virginia.
80 minutes to be exact.
80 minutes for Gumbert. He's getting a bigger role here tonight. Thomas will chase the ball out in his 18-yard box near hand side. Thomas sends this ball far away. Header by Stovall will bounce past the touchline, almost in the aluminum seating, and the Kings Warriors will make a sub. And taking towards the bench, Brian Ramirez will call it a night. And we'll see who this new Kings Warrior will be on the pitch. Van Zonen with the lone goal so far in this second half. That's why we're tied at 2 in the 64th minute of action.
Sam Blackman, number 9.
He'll come into the game for Brian Ramirez as Oswald takes up the scooping ball. Nice block by Jake Stovall. Keeping nearby King Warrior, away from the ball. Backwards header. And here's Blackman. Blackman back trails it to his goalie, Thomas. Whiffs at this, sends this one bye-bye. Far hand side. Tangled between the feet of Fubara. And this one sent there away by Carter Robbins.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and that's at USLPDL on Twitter for all the latest updates.
Play on, says the referee. Taken down was Chris Harmon. Cincinnati back with the ball in front of their bench. This is Smith. Right hand whiff. Van Zonen off his chest. And it's taken away by the second Kings Warrior in the area. That was Jake Ramsey. Both these defenses have played very nicely today. As McClure watches the ball sail behind his back. Dean Johnson with it now.
Southern West Virginia looking to change up their defense a little bit and giving McClure a couple more looks because of Van Zonen being out there.
Gumbert with a nice stop. Takes it all by himself on the far hand side. Off the foot of a Kings Warrior. And we'll have another substitution. I believe that's Bardalis heading towards the bench, and I think that's Jeremy Payne into the game. And yes, Dennis Bardalis out, Jeremy Payne in for the Kings Warriors.
And that is the third sub-in for the Kings Warriors thus far.
Stovall will get the bottle of water. And he'll also get the throw-in in the attacking third of Cincinnati. The far linesman says that's where you'll throw it in. And Stovall looks for an open orange jersey.
And if you guys do remember, Jordan Grant had a tough fall at the end of the first half, but he is back in the game.
Thomas hits it off the head of his teammate.
That was a heck of a save by John Thomas there.
Hill gets it off his foot, rolls out of bounds, and that's a throw-in for the Dutch Lions. Hill plays his soccer here at Xavier University.
He's my old friend.
Far hand side for Gumbert. I mentioned this the first broadcast we did, the last home game. That is very neat to see local collegiate talent on this squad.
Definitely. You have, for Cincinnati, you have 3 Xavier players alone.
Thomas snags the ball right in front of McClure. And it's the Kings Warriors taking it away now.
And you also have someone from the University of Southern Indiana. You have someone coming in from Louisville. Another Southern Indiana. So Wright State, as you're familiar with. So it's a lot of local colleges, which is good to see. And as we said before, it's nice to see that type of, or this type of competition for soccer in Cincinnati. And it seems to be growing, which is really nice to see.
Kings Warriors move it past with Dean Johnson backtracking it to Jake Ramsey. Ramsey hits up the new sub, Jeremy Payne. Taken away by Cincinnati's Logan Gumbert. Like we mentioned, Cincinnati feels like they've been a bit more aggressive in the second half. Southern West Virginia just hasn't had the looks they had in the first half.
Smarter play by Cincinnati so far, and Van Zonen coming in, he's taken some control with leading this team, and I think they've been playing, making smarter decisions and being more patient, kind of as we said that they need to be doing in the second half.
DuPont frees the ball away from a foe. DuPont will chip this in. Thomas gobbles it up, and he'll throw it away.
They're also spacing out the field more, which they weren't doing as well in the first half.
Now, if you're Southern West Virginia, what's happened between the first 45 minutes and this second half?
I think that they are still continuing to play their game that they were playing in the first half, but it's not working in the second half because Cincinnati has changed it up a little bit, and I think they're being more patient with it. And so far, Cincinnati subs have really made an impact.
Van Zonen to Stovall. Have to chase it into the 18-yard box. Bounce to Oswald, and they'll send this one away.
Not to mention, I'm sure some of Southern West Virginia's players had probably been a little bit more tired than Cincinnati because of how much they were attacking before and how aggressive they were.
Van Zonen slams on the brakes, keeps the ball at his feet. They'll find McClure near hand side. Back for Van Zonen. Van Zonen spins around, looks for Hill now. Matt Hill. Neon yellow shoes for him. Seems to be a popular choice.
Van Zonen does a really great job turning the ball and looking for open players and being able to control and keep the ball away from the defensive player. And I think that's been given Cincinnati some extra looks that they weren't finding in the first half, excuse me.
Harmon, a wrestling style move, taken down with another King Warrior. As Thomas have the ball between his feet, plays away from McClure, and Hill with the header up front. And Zonen plays it right by the touchline. Nice easy pass for Chris DuPont. McClure back to DuPont. Placed in the air, picked up by Itadye Fubara.
Say that 10 times fast.
Maybe later. Pass moved up front. Hill will keep the King Warrior at bay. Oswald pops it up in the air, high. Doesn't get a lot of distance out. So this is past the touchline, almost into the fans. And that will be a throw-in for Southern West Virginia. Beautiful night for soccer here. Not a lot of light. It is fairly dark. There's a looper. Oswald will let it bounce out past the end line. Goal kick Cincinnati.
Dutch Lions fans, get on your feet and make some noise.
Doesn't feel as light as it was. The clouds are starting to move in. Just thin clouds over what's left of the sunset here.
And I believe that this game is catching the end of some good weather, if I'm correct. I think it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
I wish you didn't say that as we're entering our 72nd minute here.
Oh, it's not supposed to rain tonight. Tomorrow.
There's a ball bouncer to the Kings Warriors bench, picked up by Gumbert. He'll throw it up.
You can hear the crowd now starting to chant, "Let's go Lions."
That's part of the Orange Legion for you. The best supporters group in the USL, especially with the Dayton Dutch Lions USL Pro team. They chant for 90 minutes straight. They'll only take a break during halftime. Then once the second half begins, they have a drum. They have lots of noisemakers. It's beautiful. You definitely have to hear it on one of the broadcasts.
It's great to get that support.
McClure, far hand side. He's onside. For Grant, through his legs, and Ramsey clears this away.
It looked for a second that Grant was looking for a back heel to Van Zonen, and that would have...
Here comes
that
Grant.
He could have put away.
Grant off the side of a King Warrior. Popped up in the air, taken away by Southern West Virginia's Simon Doherty. Ball flies off the head of a King Warrior. He'll play it just on the touchline. He's inbounds Gideon Asante. Now on the near hand side, Matt Hill slides in, trying to chip the ball away from Dean Johnson. Here is Payne, Jeremy Payne. Taking it up near hand side. Stovall knocked down, swept away. Corner kick for Southern West Virginia.
Probably the most aggressive I've seen Southern West Virginia in the second half so far was just then as they brought that ball down the field.
There'll be a corner kick on the near hand side for Southern West Virginia. Cincinnati stock in the 6-yard box. This is Southern West Virginia's 5th corner on the night, 3rd in the second half. This ball rolls harmlessly on the far hand side for Italia Fubara. Fubara almost lost his grip, moves a pass. Dean Johnson is there. Trying to hit up the 18-yard box was Fubara. Cincinnati boxes off DuPont. Gentle pass to his right. Southern West Virginia looks to sub out another player.
I was just going to say that was some great defense by Cincinnati and Stovall by really blocking himself and the offender.
Kings Warriors get the ball again, far hand side. Probably one of, maybe the only one I've ever seen that the nickname of a team has a apostrophe in it saying, hey, it's the Kings Warriors. I find it kind of cool.
Who's the king?
We were talking about that.
That's what I want to know.
That's what we were talking about. And that would be a free kick for Cincinnati, much to the displeasure of Fubara.
Who is the king and are the players the Warriors?
Now, of course, it's, like we mentioned, a religious nonprofit organization, so you have to think religion part there. We were kidding about, I said Elvis, you said Michael Jackson.
Hopefully no one takes that in offense. The king of pop.
Or the king, thank you very much. And the sub, Simon Doherty, is out of the game. And the new sub in, the new fresh pair of legs, will turn his number away, so we won't have an easy look at it as Van Zonen just blasts this one into the parking lot. Goal kick for Southern West Virginia.
We haven't had as many of those. That was actually the first one so far this game where the ball has gone over and into the parking lot. There's not much protection between the soccer field and those cars.
Luckily, though, a soccer ball is not as hard as a baseball.
That is true.
Or
it's not going to go through your windshield.
Or a softball.
That is true.
Throw in for Southern West Virginia. Hill chases his back. Payne boxed off. Stovall will let it bounce past the end line. And that's a goal kick for Cincinnati. Beautiful scenery out here in Cincinnati. Nice wooded area. Nice place to catch a soccer game.
The sun is still on the buildings, though, here on campus at Xavier. And
definitely,
very beautiful.
Definitely, if you're a fan of photography, it's a beautiful picture to take up there. Swept out of the 18-yard box, picked up by Stovall. Looks to clear it away. Ramsey sets up for a header. McClure comes diving over his head.
Big hops on that one.
Lots of air for McClure on that jump. Now picked up by Southern West Virginia, far hand side. Ashante looking for the lead again for Southern West Virginia. Payne back trails it, but it's picked up by the other orange in the Cincinnati Dutch Lions. Ramsey swipes the ball away. Chasing this back is Sam Blackman. Chasing that ball is Kramers.
Definitely challenging Gumbert there.
Now we start to see Southern West Virginia get a little bit more aggressive. They're looking for their 3rd goal of the game. Here's a nice sweep away from number 26 in Jorge McKenna. That was your substitution for Southern West Virginia. McKenna in for Doherty. And you start to see these fresh legs for Southern West Virginia starting to play a positive role in the Kings Warriors. That's a goal kick for Cincinnati. Jorge McKenna was asking, hey, why isn't that a corner? And the near referee will tell him what's up.
You can start to see the shift in possessions, though. As you were just saying, Southern West Virginia seems to be having a little bit more offensive control within these past 5 minutes or so with these new subs.
And for Cincinnati, they have one sub left. Austin Pierce can still come into the game, but other than that,
they're
besides
done.
your backup goalie, yeah.
Which I was about to make that comment earlier. We have yet to see that backup goalie, Robert Wilson, make his appearance and replace.
McClure high in the air, tries to cross it up, no one there, and this will bounce past the touchline for a throw-in from the Kings Warriors. And for Southern West Virginia, they have 2 subs, Kurt Hayes and Matt King. 1 forward, 1 defender still ready to sub in, along with their backup goalie, which is Alex Geyer.
Pretty sure that's the 4th ball that's gone over the fence over there.
And a fan will track down the ball, throw it back into play. McClure with a header, chasing it away was Harmon, but it's cleared away, heading towards the tent with all the...
I was going to say, make that 5, but not quite.
With all the neat equipment over there, your music players, your Twitter runners, and someone from Southern West Virginia who I thought was broadcasting the game on the far-hand side. I'm not sure if he is or not, I'll be honest.
I doubt it if we have West Virginia listeners tuning in.
Well, it could be a
here.
radio stream, too, for Southern West Virginia.
That is true.
Far-hand side, picked up by Kramers. Now touched up by Dean Johnson. 79th minute of action here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Cincinnati 2-0-2. Southern West Virginia 1-2-1. Defender Ben Steen keeps this away from McClure.
Really looking to attack on that one.
And Maggie Short, the referee, will say it's off of McClure, and then will still say it's a throw-in for Southern West Virginia, but tells Jake Ramsey to back it up near the 18-yard box. Stovall on the chase, keeps away from Jeremy Payne. High kick, and Oswald heads this out.
Not so sure if I agreed with that decision on headbutting that.
Throw in by the near corner flag for Dean Johnson. Van Zonen tied the game at the 52nd minute of our second half. That's why we are standing at 2 apiece. Kings Warriors with it. Dean Johnson crosses far hand side, miss header off the foot of Gumbert now. It's still Southern West Virginia, far side of the 18-yard box. Ball rolls out. Chasing this back is Jordan Grant. And this ball will miss McClure by a couple of yards off the chest of Carter Robbins. And Southern West Virginia back in the fray. Crosser off the chest of a Dutch line. There's another boot, and this will land in front of Dean Johnson. Controls it, crosses it, and this one bounced in off of Matt Hill. Some of the fans and some of the players were asking, hey, that should be a handball. It hit off an elbow, but the referees do not call it. Off the back of McClure, taken away by Carter Robbins.
A lot of chances there for the Kings Warriors.
Southern West Virginia, you can start to see their aggressiveness picking back up. The fresh legs helping out. Dean Johnson, nice ball control as he'll get the ball again near hand side in the attacking half. Matt Hill slows it down. Now picked up by Payne. Jeremy Payne, he loses the ball. Van Zonen kicks it back. Hill will let Stovall find Oswald. Ball will travel a long way near the touchline. It'll be a throw-in for Southern West Virginia.
And the time on the clock continues to tick. So we're starting to come down to the wire here.
Now you got stoppage time in the second half as well, but you're down to your last few minutes. You either get 3 points on the win or you settle with 1 apiece. As McClure, he doesn't want to settle for 1 apiece. He will chase this ball away from the goalie, and he will tangle with the goalie, and that will result in a whistle. Free kick for Southern West Virginia.
Great hustle by McClure there.
Thomas just with that beat. I tell you, those two have been going at it. McClure's been over his face, and Thomas has been denying him all night.
McClure wants another goal for this game. He can't lose his streak.
High in the sky, header rolls off Stovall, and it's picked up by Cincinnati's number 16, Garrett Halfhill. Nice moves by DuPont. He rolls towards his left, pass to Van Zonen, and he is onside. Van Zonen crosses, and this hits off a Kings Warriors foot, but put back down by Kyle Smith. Smith now to Hill. Hill looks at his options. Between two Kings Warriors, he gets a pass, and a sliding Jordan Grant can't stop the ball. That's a goal kick for the Kings Warriors.
And he seems to be up and running and healthy after his first half fall.
Luckily, Jordan Grant is A-okay, like you said. That was
Yeah.
a nasty, nasty lick, but he was back up. He was still playing the last few minutes of that first half. This ball will take a long tumble forward, and the Kings Warriors defense will
As
play
we
it
almost
away.
get hit with the ball.
You've gotten hit a couple of
I
times.
know. I'm over here swatting the ball away. I feel like a goalie up here.
I haven't got a chance to swat one away. Southern West Virginia.
Put me out there.
Past the center line. I'll sit here. Thanks. Dean Johnson moves it forward. It's Jorge McKenna. McKenna backs it. Sweep to Ramsey, near hand side. Hill in front. Ramsey breaks away, rolls towards his left. Header bounces away just out of the reach of McKenna. That could have been trouble. And Eric Oswald will pick it back up.
Stovall did a great job there of putting himself in between the ball and number 25, Jorge McKenna. Because that could have easily been a Kings Warriors goal.
Meanwhile, McClure chasing after the ball, cleared out of bounds by Southern West Virginia's number 15, Ben Steen. A throw-in is in order for Cincinnati. Stovall will take this slow jog towards the near-hand side.
Team physicians, Dr. Allison Phelps and Dr. Peter Schreier would be happy to help you or your
Stovall will dribble the soccer ball.
field after an injury. For more information, visit www.beaconhorto.com.
He throws it with two hands, heading towards the 6-yard box. Header goes backwards, and Thomas will watch it roll towards his left. Corner kick, Cincinnati. Their second of the half and third on the game. And Chris DuPont will have another crack at the corner. So not much time left for either team. You leave this a draw after 90 plus, then you get a point, and you get another draw. This one slices away. Thomas with a volleyball block just out of the reach of Chris Harmon. And here come the Kings Warriors. Taking this all by himself was Asante, and it's knocked away from him. That looked like trouble there. You saw Asante, just like Dion Peters of the West Virginia Chaos. He's got some great speed.
Well, they really saw an opportunity there, and Kyle Smith did a great job of ending that.
Van Zonen zigs, he zags.
Great ball handling by Van Zonen.
And now Hill's got a chance with the ball. Bounces off his left foot, picked up by number 7, Chris Harmon, off this end line. They're going to call that a goal kick. That'll be a goal kick as that crossed the end line off Chris Harmon's foot. And Thomas will plant the ball in his 6-yard box. These teams will meet up again Wednesday here at Xavier University.
And don't forget, you can find all the stats and scores, news, and more from this game and all our previous games and future games to come on schedules exclusively on uslpdl.com. So check that out.
Van Zonen attempted for McClure. McClure comes away with the ball. Van Zonen trickles it into the 18-yard box out of the reach of Grant. Hill tangled up with a King Warrior and scratches out Stovall. Now to Hill. Gotta love that defense there between Stovall and Jeremy Payne. The two just grabbing at each other. That draws a whistle from the referee. Free kick for Cincinnati.
Stovall and Hill have been doing an excellent job communicating and talking with each other for Cincinnati and making some big saves. And now you really start to feel the time crunch because it's 2-2, and if anyone, either Cincinnati or Southern West Virginia, is able to capture a goal here, that puts a little bit more sense of urgency on the other team.
Hill spins it towards his right. DuPont heads it back into the boxes.
That's a high one.
Stovall heads it back into play. Off the foot of Kyle Smith. And Southern West Virginia will attack the field. Far hand side, just out of the reach of a sweeping Gumbert. And Southern West Virginia will boot this to Oswald. He'll pick it up, 6-yard box. Jeremy Payne was coming in for the relay into the net. And Cincinnati draws it past the center line. Harmon, McClure up front. Tries to loop a pass up front to McClure. And namely Jordan Grant sliding on the turf. Picked up by the Kings Warriors. Southern West Virginia in the 89th minute now. Send it to Jake Ramsey, near hand side. He's played all the minutes thus far. Ramsey up front, out of the reach of Payne, and Cincinnati has a chance to clear this away. McClure on the chase, and he keeps it inbounds for a couple yards for rolls past the touchline. That will be a throw-in for Southern West Virginia, I beg your pardon, and a substitution for Cincinnati. Chris Harmon's night is over. And I believe Austin Pierce will be coming in for him. That's the last sub for Cincinnati. So Pierce in for Chris Harmon. Look out.
Yep, I just got hit.
I saw that. I was trying to reach.
So much for me subbing in. I was trying to look at some stats here. Now, Austin Pierce, he has only seen 28 minutes so far this season.
Gumbert. He's got the task of keeping Ashante in check. Ashante bobbles the ball between his feet. We'll loop a pass to the near hand side. Nice header by McKenna. And Cincinnati Stovall, will scratch that hill, will clear it away. But sent back into play and past the goal line into the foliage.
And over the fence.
That is Ben Steen. Great idea, but he hits it into the deep wooded area of Xavier University. Oswald sends it past the center line. Nice header by Southern West Virginia. As we're starting to get more noise from the fans here. We have a whistle, free kick for Southern West Virginia.
89:35 on the clock right now.
We do have another soccer note. Something that I thought we were going to mention, and I kind of forgot it as I wrote on my notes. The United States of America have defeated Nigeria 2-1.
That's good news going into the World Cup.
And they're going to play in the pool of death between Ghana, Portugal, and Germany. Definitely the last one between the Germans and the Americans. Definitely one I look forward to. And 2 minutes of extra time. Who gets 3 points, or do both teams get a point and call it a draw?
And I know neither one of these teams want to go away with another tie.
Hill sends this deep into the 6-yard box, picked up by Thomas. He'll hold on to the ball. If this game does indeed end in a draw, that's the second time these two teams will end tied. And they will have one more game here, and that's it on the regular season between these two squads. Throw in off the chest of McKenna. And another throw in awaits Southern West Virginia. 2 minutes of extra time. Decide who takes a point, who takes 3 points. Here comes a long throw in behind the bench. Nice header by Stovall. He's been very impressive defensively for Cincinnati all season.
Especially tonight. I think he has made some crucial saves for Cincinnati that could have ended in a couple Southern West Virginia goals.
Hill watches it bounce past the end line, and the near referee says that is a goal, or scratch it, a corner kick for West Virginia. They're 4 for the half, 6 on the game. And it did hit off the head of both Stovall and his Southern West Virginia counterpart. And that results in a corner. Near hand side, the 90-degree angle. This one blasted into the 6-yard box. Oswald comes away with a grab. He'll stop right at the 18-yard box edge. He'll bounce it a couple times for waving this bye-bye to the far hand side.
Hoping to get one last look here for Cincinnati. And
McClure off Steen's head.
Possession.
Cleared back. Stovall will look behind him. Oswald will pick it back up. Not much time left of stoppage time here in Cincinnati, Ohio. The referee just blew her whistle. That is the game. Your final tonight, the Cincinnati Dutch Lions and the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors end in a draw at 2-all. Southern West Virginia. They'll go to 1-2-2. Cincinnati 2-0-3. So the Dutch Lions still undefeated in this 2014 season. They get a little help in the second half by Rowan Van Zonnen's goal in the 52nd minute.
Don't forget, you guys can also catch us on Wednesday, June 11th, right here, and it's at 7 p.m. once again. And don't forget, YouTube is the league's official online video home, offering live games and feature content. So subscribe for free to the USLPDL YouTube channel today.
So this game ends in a draw before these two teams meet each other for the final time this 2014 season. Allison, what were your thoughts?
I thought this was a great game. I really thought that Southern West Virginia took control of the first half, and in the second half, I wouldn't say there was any one team that had full control. I thought, Van Zonnen was a key aspect for Cincinnati coming in. Obviously, he had that goal, but I think he really calmed Cincinnati down and brought a new energy and brought a new feel to the team and brought patience, which was key. Luckily, they were able to get that last goal, and unfortunately, they weren't able to finish with a win, but it's better than a loss with a tie.
Now, with that being said, what can both these teams take in from this game for Wednesday for 3 points?
I think Southern West Virginia needs to keep in mind, the game's not over until it's over, and even though you might have one strategy in the first half that's really working for you, you need to also expect that the team, your other opponent, is going to come in and try to make changes as well, and having to adjust to those changes in the second half, because you can't continue to play on the same level as you were in the first half and expect the other opponent to do the same.
Our next home game, Wednesday, 7 o'clock, June the 11th. You can catch it here on the Dutch Lions Gateway, the official home of Dutch Lions soccer on YouTube. Final words for Wednesday?
Tune in. We'd love to have your support and, spread the word. We're trying to get as many subscribers as possible and love to see you guys there listening.
For Allison Martin, my name's Lee W. Mowen. Your final score tonight, it's a tie. The Cincinnati Dutch Lions and the Southern West Virginia Kings Warriors end at 2 apiece. Good night, everyone. We'll talk to you again Wednesday.